1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock.
Good morning, y'all. Today is July 26, 1950. I'm Hannah Holman reporting to you from Montgomery, Alabama. Channel 9, the news you want. We have a recent breaking story. It's a long one, but a goodie, so grab that cup of coffee and take a seat. This issue over the Scottsboro Boys has been the talk of the town now for much time. And 14 years ago, today, this issue began, and after much deliberation, the final verdicts are in. This dilemma began on March 25th, way back in 1931. Here's Casey with the details.
8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're going.
That's exactly right, Hannah. On March 25th, some black and white men rode a southern train from Memphis to Chattanooga looking for work. A fight soon broke out between them. The blacks forced the whites off the train. When the train stopped, law enforcement was there and arrested the 9 blacks. Victoria Price and Ruby Bates, white prostitutes, accused the men of rape. The 9 blacks were arrested and taken to Scottsboro, Alabama, hence the nickname the Scottsboro Boys. The boys ranged in age from 12 to 19, and all but the 12-year-old boy was sentenced with the death penalty. 300,000 blacks and whites protested the racial arrests. Proper legal representation was not used considering the jury was all whites. Even after Bates admitted to making the story up, the boys were still convicted in later trials. After 6 years, the conclusion was made in close-to-life sentences for 8 of the boys, but all of the men were given parole. You heard me correctly, they were let off. Please give it a moment of silence for each of the boys as Chloe tells you a bit about them.
Haywood Patterson, age 18 at the time of the incident. He escaped twice from prison and additionally received parole in 1948. Charles Weems, age 19 at the time of the happening. Parole in 1943. Clarence Norris was 19. Parole in 1946, just 4 years ago. Roy Wright was 12. Andy's brother, and his charges were dropped in 1937. Andy Wright was 19. Parole in 1950. Ozzie Powell was 16. Parole in 1946. Allen Montgomery was 17, proved innocent, one of 4 releases in July of 1937. Eugene Williams was 13, innocent like Montgomery, and his charges were dropped in 1937. Willie Robertson was 17 and proven innocent, released in July 1937.
Around the clock tonight, what is glad right so? Join me home, we'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock.
Thank you, Chloe. Wow, a 12-year-old. After hearing this, lots of folks felt the blacks deserved the death sentence. They didn't care about who they were black. These trials were unfair. I mean, the jury consisted of mostly whites. And folks, do you think they cared about the facts? Like your Channel 9 news.
The gals were Ruby Bates and Victoria Price. Ruby Bates was a prostitute, a poor liar, and admitted the story had been made up. She was also a minor, and it was illegal to take minors across state lines for prostitution, so she began to point fingers at others to escape the trouble she should be in. Victoria Price was a prostitute who played dumb and was largely responsible for the boys' trouble. She brought Ruby, her friend, with her, illegally.
When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4, if the band slows down, we'll yell for more.
Poodle skirts? That's so 1950s. That was a recording from 61 years ago. And today, it often seems like we're still dealing with similar issues. Everyone deserves a fair trial. The color of one's skin should never matter in the jury's decision, as all men are created equal by today's Constitution. And even today, not all trials are truly fair. Although juries are made up of strangers who have no connection to the case, but in most cases, the judge says who is proven guilty, and he is who ultimately has the last say. Here's Kayla with some of the details we found.
Of all the Scottsboro boys, Clarence Norris lived the longest. His sentence was reduced in 1938, and he was paroled in 1964. 30 years later, the governor of Alabama admitted that the Scottsboro trials were unfair, and Norris was paroled. He was the only Scottsboro boy left alive. Tune in at 10 for Channel 9's leading story on the Mississippi Bridge.
They didn't care about who they were, other than the fact that they were just black. These trials were unfair. And then, sorry, I didn't know what I was saying.
That's crazy, bro.